The quantum threshold. Captain Maya Chen stood at the viewing port of the U.S. Chimera, watching Earth shrink in the distance. The massive vessel, humanity's first and only quantum-folding ship, hummed with a resonance that seemed to vibrate between dimensions rather than through conventional space. For a moment, she allowed herself to feel the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. 3 years of secret development, countless theoretical breakthroughs, and the combined resources of Earth's nations had culminated in this moment. Captain, Lieutenant Commander Jackson's voice interrupted her thoughts. We have anomalous readings from the Kuiper Belt. Multiple objects moving in formation, decelerating as they approach Neptune's orbit. Chen turned from the viewport, her expression carefully neutral despite the surge of adrenaline. Show me. The main bridge display flickered to life, revealing 12 objects moving with unmistakable purpose. They maintained perfect formation despite the cosmic obstacles that should have disrupted their path. These weren't natural phenomena. They were ships. Time to intercept with Earth. Chen asked, her voice steady. At current velocity, approximately 72 hours, Captain, Jackson replied. Chen nodded once, decision made. Initiate first contact protocol. All departments to battle readiness, but weapons remain cold, and get Dr. Okafor to the bridge immediately. Throughout the vessel, alert signals pulsed in rhythmic patterns. The Chimera wasn't fully complete. The quantum folding drive had only been successfully tested twice before, but its core systems were operational. If these visitors came with hostile intent, the Chimera would be humanity's first and possibly only line of defense. Dr. Elias Okafor arrived on the bridge minutes later, his normally immaculate lab coat slightly askew. His eyes widened as he took in the display showing the approaching vessels. First contact, he breathed, a mixture of scientific excitement and human trepidation in his voice. After all our theoretical discussions about meeting extraterrestrial intelligence, it's actually happening. And it's happening now, Chen responded. I need to know if the quantum folding drive is ready for potential combat operations. Okafor's expression shifted to serious calculation. The matrix stabilizer is at 92% efficiency. We could perform 3, maybe 4 folds before requiring a cooldown cycle. But Captain, I strongly advise against. I'm not looking to start an interstellar war, Doctor, Chen interrupted. But I need to know our capabilities if diplomacy fails. The scientist nodded reluctantly. Understanding the 11-dimensional structure of reality doesn't mean we should tear holes in it unnecessarily. 3 years ago, Dr. Okafor had been just another brilliant theoretical physicist at the Global Physics Institute, pursuing questions most considered purely academic. His breakthrough had come when he realized that the mathematics of quantum string theory could be applied to manipulate the underlying fabric of reality itself. The implications were staggering. Faster than light travel, dimensional phasing, gravitational control. Within weeks, his modest laboratory had been visited by military officials and government representatives from every major nation. 6 months later, Project Chimera was born, a multinational effort to build a vessel capable of utilizing quantum folding technology for both peaceful exploration and, if necessary, defense. They're accelerating, Captain, Lieutenant Koshiro reported from the sensor station. New intercept time with Earth, 48 hours. Chen's eyes narrowed. Broadcast first contact greeting packages on all frequencies. Standard mathematical sequences, peaceful intentions, the works. Broadcasting. Communications Officer Rivera confirmed. No response yet. The bridge fell into tense silence as minutes stretched into hours. The alien vessels continued their approach, ignoring all attempts at communication. Captain, Jackson finally broke the silence. They've changed course. They're now on intercept trajectory with us. Chen straightened in her command chair. They've detected us. Estimated time to intercept. 6 hours, 17 minutes. Prepare the quantum folding drive, Chen ordered. We'll meet them halfway. Dr. Okafor worked with the engineering team to bring the experimental drive online. The heart of the chimera was a crystalline chamber where 11-dimensional strings could be manipulated through precisely controlled energy fields. As power flowed into the system, the crystal began to glow with light that seemed to bend in impossible ways. Quantum folding drive at full capacity, Chief Engineer Puddle reported. Coordinates locked. Chen took a deep breath. This would be only the third actual use of the drive since its installation. The theoretical risks were substantial, but the approaching aliens left them little choice. Execute fold, she ordered. For a brief moment, everyone on the bridge experienced a strange sensation, as if their bodies existed in multiple places simultaneously. The view screen showed a blur of colors that human eyes were never meant to perceive. Then reality snapped back into focus. The chimera had disappeared from its position near Earth's orbit and reappeared directly between the alien fleet and Earth. Fold successful, Paddle reported, unable to keep a note of pride from her voice. All systems nominal. The alien vessels are adjusting course, Jackson reported. They're slowing down. Open all communication channels, Chen ordered. Let's try again now that we have their attention. Rivera worked quickly. Channel open. Captain. This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth vessel U.S. Chimera. She spoke clearly and confidently. Your presence in our system without communication is considered potentially concerning. We welcome peaceful dialogue, but are prepared to defend our world if necessary. For several tense moments, nothing happened. Then the main screen flickered, and an image appeared. The alien commander stood in what appeared to be the bridge of their vessel. Its body was vaguely humanoid but taller, with iridescent blue skin that seemed to shimmer with bioluminescent patterns. Its features were smooth, with 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern where a human face would be. A series of melodic tones emanated from the speakers before being processed through the translation system. Impossible, the translation stated. Your species should not possess quantum manipulation technology. Our surveys indicated a primitive civilization barely capable of reaching your neighboring satellite. Chen maintained her composure, though inwardly she felt a surge of pride. Humanity had clearly exceeded the aliens' expectations. We have advanced considerably in recent decades, she replied diplomatically. As you can see, we are capable of quantum dimensional translation. We come in peace, though we are prepared for otherwise. Welcome to Earth's solar system. The alien commander's features shifted slightly, perhaps their version of surprise or concern. Quantum manipulation requires understanding of 11-dimensional string mechanics. No species has achieved this independently at your development stage, the alien stated. How did you achieve this without guidance? Chen glanced at Dr. Okafor, who nodded slightly. Human minds work differently than you might expect, Chen explained. Our scientists made the breakthrough naturally through theoretical mathematics and practical application. Now may I ask your purpose in our system? The aliens seem to consider this. I am Supreme Commander Ktor Lath of the Voidborn Collective. We came to assess your world for potential shepherding into the galactic community. Usually, this means stewardship until your species reaches appropriate developmental stages. The diplomatic phrasing didn't fool anyone on the bridge. Stewardship likely meant technological restrictions and cultural influence at best, subjugation at worst. I believe, Chen said carefully, that our demonstration suggests we have already reached an appropriate developmental stage. Perhaps we should discuss equal relations instead. The alien commander's skin flashed with patterns of light. This complicates matters. The collective council must be informed of your unexpected capabilities. We will withdraw to a respectful distance while communications are established. The alien fleet is powering down what appear to be weapons systems, Jackson reported quietly. Chen nodded. Supreme Commander Ktor Lath, we appreciate your cooperation. Earth welcomes peaceful dialogue with the Voidborn Collective. As the communication ended, a cheer broke out across the bridge. Humanity's first contact hadn't resulted in disaster or subjugation. The quantum folding drive had proven its worth not by destroying an enemy, but by earning their respect. "Well done, everyone," Chen said, allowing herself a small smile. "Now the real work begins." In the following weeks, a delegation from Earth met with representatives of the Voidborn Collective aboard a neutral station positioned in the outer solar system. Dr. Okafor led the scientific exchange, carefully controlling what technological information was shared, while learning about the galactic community the collective belonged to. The revelations were staggering. Dozens of spacefaring civilizations existed, organized into several major political blocs. The Voidborn Collective was one of the more powerful groups, comprised of 7 distinct species who had achieved interstellar travel centuries or millennia before humanity. "They've been watching us for decades," UN Secretary-General Alvarez told Captain Chen during a secure briefing. "Classified our civilization as pre-emergence and expected at least another century before we developed space technology advanced enough to warrant introduction to their community." "And now?" Chen asked. "Now they're scrambling to adjust their protocols," Alvarez said with a hint of satisfaction. "The Voidborn are pushing for us to be granted provisional recognition in something called the Galactic Conclave. Not everyone is pleased." Chen wasn't surprised. Humanity had essentially bypassed centuries of expected technological development in a single leap. The implications for the established galactic order were profound. On the final day of initial negotiations, Supreme Commander Xorlath approached Chen privately. "Your species surprises us, Captain," the alien said, bioluminescent patterns shifting thoughtfully across its skin. "We have observed thousands of emerging civilizations. None have made the quantum leap without guidance." "Perhaps you underestimated human creativity," Chen suggested. "Perhaps," Xorlath agreed. "Or perhaps humanity possesses unique cognitive pathways. This will be studied extensively." The commander paused. "A warning, Captain. Not all galactic powers will welcome your sudden emergence. Some will see threat where we see potential." Chen nodded, understanding the unspoken message. Humanity's journey to the stars had only just begun, and the path ahead would not be without challenges. The galactic stage. Ambassador Sophia Reynolds adjusted her formal diplomatic uniform as the gravity shifted in the transport vessel. 6 months had passed since humanity's first contact with the Voidborn Collective, and now Earth was sending its first official delegation to the Galactic Conclave, a governing body comprised of representatives from 23 spacefaring civilizations. "Remember," said Dr. Okafor beside her, "most of these species have been spacefaring for thousands of years. They will try to make us feel small and young." Reynolds nodded. The U.S. Chimera had escorted their diplomatic vessel to the edge of the Sol system, where a Voidborn ship had met them for the final journey to Nexus Station, the massive structure that served as the Conclave's meeting place. The quantum folding technology that had so surprised the aliens remained Earth's most closely guarded secret, with only the Chimera currently equipped with the revolutionary drive. The transport docked with a gentle shudder, and the Earth delegation stepped into the alien station. The architecture was breathtaking. Soaring ceilings, gravity-defying structures, and materials that seemed to shift and flow like liquid while maintaining rigid strength. "The representatives from Earth may approach the central chamber," announced a melodic voice that seemed to come from everywhere at once. Reynolds walked forward with practiced dignity, though her heart raced. Dr. Okafor and Admiral Takahashi followed, along with a small team of specialists selected for this historic moment. The central chamber was vast, with seating arranged in concentric circles to accommodate the physical needs of different species. Hundreds of delegates turned to stare as the humans entered. "The conclave recognizes Earth's representatives," announced the Arbiter, a floating being comprised of interlocking geometric shapes that pulsed with soft light. "You may address the gathered civilizations." Reynolds bowed respectfully. "Honored Arbiter, distinguished delegates, I bring greetings from Earth. We come seeking friendship and knowledge exchange with all peaceful civilizations of the conclave." A rumble of translated murmurs swept through the chamber. The representative from the Helix Dominion, A species of arthropod-like beings with gleaming exoskeletons leaned forward. Friendship requires trust. The Helix representative chittered through its translator. How can we trust a species that has hidden its true capabilities? Our surveys classified humans as pre-emergence primitives merely decades ago, yet now you appear with technology that bypasses centuries of expected development. Reynolds maintained her diplomatic smile. We did not hide our capabilities. We developed them rapidly. Humanity has achieved what some call impossible because we think differently. Our minds evolved to see connections others miss. Dr. Okafor activated a holographic display, showing a carefully edited model of quantum physics principles, enough to demonstrate humanity's theoretical understanding without revealing their practical applications. Our approach doesn't violate universal laws, Dr. Okafor explained, his voice calm and measured. It simply operates on principles that emerged naturally from our scientific inquiry. The Aquatic Confederation representative, a being with translucent blue skin and flowing appendages, moved forward with obvious interest. Is it true that your vessel, the Chimera, can traverse vast distances instantly? Our quantum navigation technology is advanced, Reynolds confirmed without elaborating. Though I cannot share specific mechanics, we are open to limited scientific exchange after formal diplomatic relations are established. The Helix representative's exoskeleton flashed with angry red patterns. This technology could destabilize power balances that have maintained peace for millennia. Humanity must share this knowledge with the Conclave for proper regulation. Earth respects the Conclave's traditions, Reynolds responded firmly. But like all sovereign worlds, we reserve the right to protect our technological developments. The debate continued for hours. Some delegations expressed curiosity and interest in human innovation. Others, particularly the Helix Dominion, pushed for restrictions on Earth's activities. When the session finally ended, Admiral Takahashi pulled Reynolds and Okafor aside. His expression was grave. Our intelligence team detected unusual communications among the Helix delegation, he warned, keeping his voice low. Their naval vessels have been repositioning near the Arcturus colony. Reynolds frowned. Do you think they would risk open aggression? The Conclave prohibits conflict between member worlds. Earth isn't a full member yet, Takahashi reminded her. And the Helix were particularly disturbed by our technological leap. I've recommended the Chimera and our conventional fleet maintain alert status. They had little time to discuss further strategies before alarms echoed throughout Nexus Station. Emergency announcements in dozens of languages filled the corridors. What's happening? Reynolds demanded of a passing Voidborn official. The Seviki have attacked the Altair settlement. The alien replied, skin flashing with distress patterns. A non-conclave species from beyond our borders. They've overwhelmed local defenses. Reynolds exchanged a quick glance with her team. Altair was a recently established colony with both human and alien inhabitants, a symbol of cooperation following first contact. We need to contact Earth immediately, she decided. Within hours, Captain Chen and the U.S. Chimera received emergency deployment orders. The quantum folding ship was the only vessel capable of reaching Altair in time to make a difference. The Seviki have no known contact with humanity, Strategic Officer Mendez reported as the Chimera prepared for the quantum fold. They're a warrior culture that raids the borders of Conclave space every few decades. Multiple Conclave defense vessels have already been disabled or destroyed. And the Helix Dominion? Chen asked. Their defense fleet hasn't responded to the distress calls, Mendez confirmed. Some Conclave members suspect they're deliberately withholding aid to demonstrate humanity's vulnerability. Chen's expression hardened. Then we'll have to disappoint them. Prepare for quantum fold. The Chimera vanished from Earth orbit in a flash of distorted light. The quantum folding drive engaged, pulling the ship through higher dimensions and depositing it near Altair in mere hours instead of the weeks a conventional ship would require. The scene that greeted them was chaotic. The orbital platforms around Altair were in flames. On the surface, settlements burned. 3 conclave defensive vessels desperately tried to defend the colony against 8 massive Seviki warships, angular constructions that resembled predatory creatures rendered in metal and energy fields. All crew to battle stations, Chen ordered as the Chimera emerged from dimensional space. Hail any surviving conclave vessels. The main screen flickered to show the battered bridge of a void-borne cruiser. Commander Zilvex's face showed visible damage, blue skin cracked and leaking luminescent fluid. "Humans? Why have you come?" the commander asked, shock evident even through the translator. "You cannot help us. Their shield technology absorbs all energy weapons. Physical projectiles are vaporized before impact." "We have technology you haven't seen, Commander," Chen responded confidently. "Continue evacuating civilians. We'll handle the Seviki vessels." The Seviki ships quickly noticed the Chimera's arrival, and 3 broke formation to intercept. They fired immediately, lances of crimson energy streaking across space toward the human vessel. "Evasive maneuvers," Chen ordered calmly. "Dr. Okafor, prepare for quantum phasing." This was the true secret of the Chimera, not just its ability to fold space, but to exist partially between dimensions. As the Seviki weapons approached, Engineer Patil activated the quantum phasing shields. The energy beams struck the Chimera and passed through it as if the ship were merely a hologram. On the bridge, the crew experienced a momentary sensation of unreality as the ship partially existed in higher dimensional space. "Phase successful," Patil reported. "Minimal energy bleed-through. Shields holding at 96%. The Seviki vessels paused their attack, seemingly confused by the ineffectiveness of their weapons. "They're scanning us," Koshiro reported, "trying to figure out what happened." "Let's not give them time to adapt," Chen decided. "Prepare for offensive quantum fold. Target the lead vessel's propulsion systems." The Chimera disappeared, reappearing instantly behind a lead Seviki warship. Before the alien vessel could react, the human ship fired conventional missiles, but with a crucial difference. Each projectile was wrapped in a quantum field that allowed it to partially phase through the Seviki shields. The explosions ripped through the Seviki vessel's engines, crippling it. The other Seviki ships turned to engage, but the Chimera had already disappeared again, folding space to attack from another vector. For 20 minutes, the battle continued in this manner. The Chimera would appear, strike with devastating precision, then vanish before the Seviki could effectively respond. One by one, the massive alien warships were disabled or destroyed. "Final Seviki vessel attempting to retreat," Jackson reported. "Let them go," Chen ordered. "They'll carry the message back to their leaders." As the last Seviki ship limped away, the conclave vessels approached the Chimera. Commander Zilvex's face appeared on the main screen again, this time with expressions that the translation system identified as profound respect. "Captain Chen," the Voidborn commander said, "you have saved countless lives today. The Conclave will hear of this." News of the Battle of Altair spread rapidly through the Galactic Conclave. Humanity's decisive victory over a foe that had troubled the Conclave for generations changed the diplomatic landscape overnight. The emergency session called to address the Seviki threat became instead a forum on humanity's new standing. "The evidence is clear," the arbiter announced to the assembled delegates. "The human vessel Chimera single-handedly defeated 8 Seviki warships when our combined fleets could not. Their quantum manipulation technology represents a significant advancement." The Helix representative's mandibles clicked with agitation, which is precisely why it must be controlled. Such power in the hands of a species barely a century into spaceflight is dangerous to galactic stability. And yet, the Aquatic Confederation delegate countered. They used this power only to protect others, including non-human colonists. Their actions speak to their character. Ambassador Reynolds stood before the conclave, calm despite the heated debate surrounding her world's fate. "Humanity does not seek dominance," she stated clearly. "We seek partnership. Our quantum technology was developed not for conquest, but for exploration and defense." Today, we used it to save lives, human and non-human alike. The vote, when it came, was decisive. Earth was granted full membership in the Galactic Conclave, with all the rights and responsibilities that entailed. The proposed restrictions on human technology were rejected, though Earth agreed to certain non-proliferation measures to prevent quantum folding technology from spreading to potentially hostile powers. Weeks later, Captain Chen stood at the viewport of the Chimera, watching the construction of the first permanent human embassy on Nexus Station. Dr. Okafor joined her, his expression thoughtful. "We've changed the course of galactic history," he said quietly. "Our quantum leap brought us to the stars centuries ahead of schedule, and gained us both allies and enemies in the process." Chen added, "The Helix Dominion still views us with suspicion." "They fear what they don't understand," Okafor replied. "What makes us different? Our ability to see connections across dimensional boundaries, to think beyond conventional limitations, is exactly what brought us here." Chen nodded, watching the ships from a dozen alien civilizations move through the space around them, going about their business as if humans had always been part of this grand cosmic community. "Supreme Commander Sorlath told me something interesting before returning to Voidborn space," she said. "They've been studying our cognitive processes. Apparently, the human brain forms neural connections in patterns that mirror 11-dimensional string structures. We're naturally attuned to the fabric of reality in ways other species aren't. Perhaps that's our gift to the galaxy," Okafor suggested. "Not just our technology, but our perspective. Our ability to see possibilities where others see only limitations." As the Chimera prepared for its next mission, the first official exploration beyond conclave space, with diplomatic representatives from 3 alien civilizations aboard, Chen couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, not as supplicants or subjects, but as equals. The stars had never seemed closer.